instructional video for the Iconn E4xk, which is in our membership platform, Unbound RV. This is so that our members can refer back to while they're away or after the orientation, which will show it in a lot more detail than this video, but it gives them the opportunity to come back to it, look at the small things that they can do to make sure their trip goes without a hitch. Now the video will be done by myself with one hand, so unfortunately I will have to put the camera down occasionally, but it should give you a good insight as to how this van works. Firstly, we're going to look at the kitchen and everything in there and make sure that's easy to use. So probably the heart of the system is the Victron battery management system. Right now it tells you everything you sort of need to know, including your water levels. So right now we got 36% in there, batteries at 97%, solar input, it's only 8 o'clock in the morning, so we're getting 190 watts, plus it's nearly charged, so it won't be pulling too much solar at the moment. But that's pretty simple to use. There's nothing really else that you need to do with this one, making sure that it's just information, I would say. Now, to lift the roof up, you would need to come into the kitchen here and use this actuator switch. Now, before you can do that, you need to unlock all the latches. Now, there are 4 of these. You've got all those undone. Come back to your kitchen, hit the up button, and the roof will take about 30 or 40 seconds to raise up. Now, I generally try and have the door open and latch so that there's some good airflow as the roof comes up. In the kitchen, you'll also see a couple other switches here. You got your dust suppression. Now that's used for on dirt roads. If you're doing any dirt roads that's say 10 kilometers or longer, I would be coming in here, pressing that button, turning it on, and that will pressurize the cabin to reduce the amount of dust that gets in through the windows, the doors, the hatches, and anywhere else that might be able to get through. We also have the water pump switch. You've then got your 12 volt USB, your outlets here. Now for these to be on, your inverter here will need to say that it's on. To do that, you just want to come inside the door, and this switch here, it says inverter. We want to turn that one on. It'll say that it's inverting. The next thing in the kitchen, you've got the outdoor fridge. So to open this, it's pushed down inside and open. Don't just try and pull on it. You've got to push your fingers down inside. Then we've got the induction cooktop. We can turn it on, and it won't do anything until you put a pan or pot on there, and then you can adjust the temperature using the switching up and down and whatnot. Your sink is here. So water on. Underneath, we would need to grab the grey water hose and hook it onto this outlet just here and run that away from the van or where you're sitting. That's pretty much the kitchen. You've obviously got lights and things like that as well, but then moving on, we need to look at leveling the van. So the benefit of the E4xk is you do have airbag suspension. Now I can tell you right now that this is leaning over a little bit. Don't know if the camera shows it, but in the front hatch on the passenger side or the entry side, you do have the Cruise Master airbag adjustment, making sure the power is switched on, the screen is lit up. We can drop one side and it releases the air out one side, and then we can raise the other side. Now the benefit of the airbag suspension is also being able to adjust the kitchen height. So if you're a bit taller like me, we can lift the van up as high as we can go, keeping it level, or if you're a bit shorter, you can drop it down so that you can reach over the bench top quite comfortably. The next part of leveling the van is obviously with the jockey wheel, so making sure that the van is front to back level, wind up the jockey wheel or down, depending on which way you need to go. Moving around the van. In the front we've got gas storage. We will provide one gas bottle. On the front we use a DO35 hitch. We provide those. Once you put it on the hitch, easy enough, locked off, and to unlock, hold that button down, slide that back, and that's it. Do your chains up. You should always cross your chains, making sure that if something goes wrong with this, that the chains catch the van so it doesn't hit the ground and dig in. On the front you've got your diesel tank. Now this is really important for your diesel hot water system. I'll show you how that works shortly. This hatch here, that's where your diesel tank and your diesel hot water and room heater is located. Nothing to really do in there. And then this hatch here, you've got all of your starter kit. So we've got grey water hoses. You've got your normal water hose there. There's another water hose in that bag, and then you got your power lead there. In here, in this box, you've got your awning tie down straps. Now we'll show you that shortly. Your tie down pegs, and we'll also provide a drill for inside this as well. In this box you've also got your outdoor shower system. So coming over to the side here, you can lift this up, sorry, one-handed, plug that in there, turn that on, and this also dictates the temperature. So the lower that is, the colder, the hotter, the more open that is, the hotter as well. So, and then you can just press the button, you got outdoor shower. When you release it, it's always good just to drain the water out of it before putting it away. Next thing along, we've got the plug-in for the mains power, so 15 amp lead, which we provide. You've got water mains hookup, so you take this outer piece off here. There'll be a fitting that you screw in and then plug the hose in, and these are your two water tank fillers. This is your toilet cassette. So really simple to use, slide out, all the way out. I'll just do it to here because I've only got one hand to use. Take that off and then you can tip it out, rinse it out, put it back away, slide it back in. Really important, I'll show you shortly once we get inside, that the flapper that opens the toilet needs to be in the closed position to be able to use it, to get that cassette out. Right, inside, we'll do the awning last, because I'll need two hands for that. You've got your main fridge just inside the door, freezer there, and all of your basic manuals for the appliances are all down in this bottom drawer there. All your light switching just inside the door. It's a little bit frustrating sometimes with the kids. People lean against it and they turn everything off. The aircon will run off battery, but it's important to note that you really need to be careful about how much you use that. So in the evening, run it for an hour or so, cool everything down, and then you can open up all your windows and let the breeze come through. You've obviously got two fans in here as well. Hot water. This system here, so this is the diesel hot water system. We turn that on. We want to scroll to this symbol here. It's like a waves with a thermometer on it. Press that. You can see it's turned off at the moment. If we go to 60, press it again, we can see that this has now come on up the top. Once the top starts flashing, it is on and hot, heating, and it will take about half an hour, 40 minutes for it to be ready for use. Turn it off, press it, scroll it down, and then press it again, that'll turn it off. If nothing is above this line here, that means nothing is on, which is good to know. It's important to turn everything off when you are moving the van or anything like that as well. Now, for winter, this truck with the thermometer is the room heater. If we want to turn that on, you can set your internal temperature, generally around 20 if it's super cold. Turn it on and we can see above the line again, it has come on. So we've got the diesel heater, it's coming from the fuel, and we've got a fan speed of low. To change your fan speed, scroll across to the fan, press it, it's in eco mode, we can turn it to high. I'd just leave it in eco so you don't chew up all your diesel in one night. And to turn it off again, dial it back down to 0 or off, press it again, and that's all off. Windows, so you've got a little red button, open that one, and then you can push it up. You can maybe see here, there's actually the clip that it locks to, there's a groove inside. Now when you close these for travel, you have to close them and pull them all the way through. A lot of times when we get vans back from hire, we find people have put them into that groove. What that's for is actually condensation inside the van. You actually got about 4 or 5 mil gap for dust and bugs and all sorts of stuff to get in while you're traveling. So I don't recommend doing that. Close them back up. Your bunks. So top bunk, it will lift up out of the way. Your bottom bunk is the dinette. So right now we've got it set up as a bed to basically lift that table up to turn it back into a dinette again. Push down in the middle of that there, grab that thing, and it will release the strut and it'll lift itself up. Same thing in reverse, lift it up, push down, and that's in the bed position. Shower and toilet. So good shower space. Shower works like a shower. Once the hot water system's hot, you've got your toilet roll holder. In there is dry storage, and your toilet. So the flapper I was talking about earlier is this here. That's the open and close for the base down there. Obviously, when using the toilet, you want that in the open position. Use it, flush, and then close it. It seals off any smells and everything as well. That's your flush button there. Let's have a look at the awning. To set your awning up, take your awning stick out, slide it up into the groove and lock it in. Wind it out about a metre and a half, and then you can pull the legs out. Now it's really important that you don't force these legs out away from the van. You can break the pivot point up the top. All the way out, so we can then put the legs up straight. And you'll notice the vinyl's actually a little bit slack at the moment. We want to wind that in so it's nice and tight there, okay? Now you'll notice that the way I've set this up is fairly level. That's a recipe for disaster if it rains. What we want to do, and normally we'll do it to the back of the van, is create it so there's some fall. Okay, so there we go. Turn that around. So we've created some fall going down and away from where you would normally be sitting. That's because if it did rain and it was straight, you would find that it would pool in the middle here, and then it would bend this front fascia here. It stretches the vinyl. The next thing that breaks is this knuckle here. If all that goes, there's a new awning. One other thing we do have for the awning is the spreader bar. Now, to put this in, you just need to make sure the hatch is shut. Slide it up and into the groove, and then lift it up. You need to undo this, so one-handed again, and slide that so it locks into that little hole there. Tighten the bar up, and that's pretty much the awning set up except for the tie downs. I'll grab one of the tie downs so we can show you that. On the end of these straps, navigator straps that we use, we have a couple of lugs there. Now they're different sizes. We want to use the smaller of the two here. That one there. And up here, you can actually see that there's a bit of a groove there. And it runs all the way along the front of the fascia. We want one on each end, down to a peg in the ground, and then you can just simply cinch that up so it's nice and tight. It'll pull the vinyl nice and tight. In most winds it'll be okay, but we do advise that obviously if the wind starts getting up and you can see that it's bucking around a bit, you want to try and put it away. Now, putting it away with two people in that case would be definitely advisable. Guys, that's pretty much it for the Iconn. If you do have any questions, you can obviously reach out and talk to us, but otherwise we'll hopefully get you on the road and traveling around and enjoying yourself. Thank you.